Okay, here's a comprehensive guide with tips for racing pigeons just before the first race of the young bird season. Since you've bred your first round, this guide will focus on getting those young birds ready. A comprehensive guide to preparing young racing pigeons for their first race. Breeding your first round of young birds is a significant step towards participating in pigeon racing. The period leading up to the first race is crucial for establishing their health, fitness, and navigational abilities. This guide will cover essential aspects of preparation to maximize your young bird's potential. Eye health management. A pre-race health check. 1. Visual inspection. Closely observe each bird for signs of illness. Look for alertness, bright eyes, clean nostrils and throat, and well-formed droppings. Signs of lethargy, ruffled feathers, or discharge should raise immediate concern. 2. Weight monitoring. Regular weighing of your pigeons will help you to understand the flock's general health. Birds that are losing weight could be suffering from an underlying issue. 3. Crop examination. Feel the crop to assess its contents and ensure proper emptying. A sour crop can indicate a yeast infection, candidiasis, or other digestive issues. 4. Fecal examination. Inspect droppings for consistency, color, and presence of undigested food or parasites. Watery, discolored, or bloody droppings are signs of illness. Consider sending samples for laboratory analysis if you observe abnormalities. B. Preventative treatments. 1. Coccidiosis and canker. These are common protozoal infections in young pigeons. Administer preventative treatments as per your veterinarian's recommendations. Alternatives include natural remedies, however their efficacy can be quite varied. 2. Respiratory infections. Young birds are particularly susceptible to respiratory problems. Maintain good ventilation in the loft and consider preventative treatments if respiratory issues have been a recurring problem in your loft. 3. Worming. Intestinal worms can impair nutrient absorption and overall performance. Conduct a fecal exam to determine if worming is necessary. Use a safe and effective anthelmintic, worming medication, appropriate for pigeons. 4. External parasites. Check for mites and lice. Treat with a pigeon-specific insecticide if necessary, following the product instructions carefully. C. Vaccinations. 1. Paramyxovirus, PMV. Vaccination against PMV is essential. Consult your veterinarian about the appropriate vaccine and timing. 2. Pigeon pox. If pigeon pox is prevalent in your area, consider vaccination. This is often done via the feather follicle method. 2. Loft management. A. Hygiene. 1. Daily cleaning. Remove droppings and debris daily. 2. Regular disinfection. Disinfect the loft regularly with a pigeon-safe disinfectant. 3. Proper ventilation. Ensure adequate ventilation to reduce moisture and ammonia buildup, which can lead to respiratory problems. 4. Dry loft. Keep the loft dry to prevent the growth of mold and bacteria. B. Loft design and comfort. 1. Adequate space. Ensure that your young birds have enough space to move around comfortably. Overcrowding can lead to stress and disease. 2. Perches. Provide perches for each bird. This helps reduce stress from birds competing for perches, and ensure that birds can properly rest. 3. Nesting boxes. Ensure clean and comfortable nesting boxes, even if the young birds are not yet breeding. This gives them a sense of security and ownership. 4. Sunlight. Maximize natural sunlight exposure in the loft. Sunlight helps kill bacteria and provides vitamin D. C. Security. 1. Predator protection. Protect the loft from predators such as hawks, cats, and rodents. Use wire mesh to secure openings. 2. Secure trapping system. Ensure that your trapping system is functioning correctly and that the birds are comfortable using it. 3. Feeding and nutrition. A. Balanced diet. 1. High-quality feed. Feed a high-quality young bird mix that is specifically formulated for racing pigeons. This mix should contain a balanced blend of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. 2. Protein. Protein is crucial for muscle development and feather growth. Ensure that the feed contains adequate protein levels, around 16 to 18%. 3. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates provide energy for training and racing. 4. Fats. Fats are an important energy source, especially for longer races. B. Supplementation. 1. Vitamins and minerals. Supplement the diet with vitamins and minerals, especially during periods of stress, for example, training and racing. 2. Grit. Provide a constant supply of grit, which aids in digestion. Offer both insoluble, flint, and soluble, oyster shell, grit, probiotics. Probiotics can help maintain a healthy gut flora, improving digestion and immune function. 4. Electrolytes. Use electrolytes after training flights to help replenish lost minerals and fluids. C. Feeding schedule. 1. Regular feeding times. Feed your pigeons at the same time each day. This helps regulate their metabolism and creates a routine. 2. Controlled portions. Feed controlled portions to prevent overeating and obesity. Adjust the amount based on the bird's activity level and weather conditions. 3. Clean water. Provide fresh, clean water at all times. Clean water containers daily. 4. Training and exercise. A. Loft flying. 1. Early introduction. Start loft flying as soon as the young birds are comfortable outside the loft. Begin with short periods and gradually increase the duration. 2. Forced exercise. Encourage the birds to fly by using a flag or other visual stimulus. This helps build their stamina and muscle strength. 3. Consistency. Maintain a consistent loft flying schedule to develop their fitness. B. Road training. 1. Gradual increase in distance. Start with very short tosses, for example, 1 mile, and gradually increase the distance. This helps the birds learn to navigate and build confidence. 2. Multiple tosses from the same location. Repeat tosses from the same location to reinforce the route. 2. 3. Vary release points. Vary the release points to give the birds experience navigating from different directions. 4. Weather conditions. Avoid training in adverse weather conditions, for example, strong winds, rain, fog. 5. Individual training. If possible, train individual birds that seem to need extra attention. This can help build their confidence. 6. Group training. Once the birds are performing well individually, train them in small groups. 7. Consistent training. Aim for at least 3 to 4 training tosses per week. 8. Avoid overtraining. Avoid overtraining, which can lead to fatigue and injury. Monitor the bird's performance and adjust the training schedule accordingly. See navigation skills. 1. Sun compass. Young birds learn to use the sun as a compass. Training on sunny days helps them develop this skill. 2. Landmark recognition. Birds use landmarks to navigate. Varying the release points helps them learn to recognize and use different landmarks. 3. Magnetic field. Pigeons also use the Earth's magnetic field for navigation. 4. Release times. Vary the release times to expose the birds to different sun angles. V. Motivation and bonding. A. Positive reinforcement. 1. Food rewards. Use food rewards to reinforce desired behaviors, such as trapping quickly. 2. Verbal praise. Talk to your birds in a calm and reassuring voice. This helps build a bond and reduces stress. B. Creating a strong bond. 1. Spend time with your birds. Spend time in the loft observing and interacting with your birds. This helps them become accustomed to your presence and builds trust. 2. Hand feeding. Hand feeding can help build a strong bond with your birds. 3. Consistency. Be consistent in your interactions with your birds. This helps them feel secure and confident. X. Pri-race preparation. A. Tapering training. 1. Reduce training intensity. Reduce the intensity and frequency of training tosses in the week leading up to the first race. This allows the birds to rest and recover. 2. Short tosses. Conduct a few short tosses, for example, 10 to 15 miles, to keep the birds sharp. 3. Avoid long tosses. Avoid long tosses in the days leading up to the race. B. Feeding and hydration. 1. Carbohydrate loading. Increase the carbohydrate content of the feed in the days leading up to the race. This provides the birds with extra energy. 2. Electrolyte supplementation. Provide electrolytes in the water to help replenish lost minerals and fluids. 3. Avoid heavy meals. Avoid feeding heavy meals on the day before the race. This can cause digestive upset. 4. Fresh water. Ensure that the birds have access to fresh, clean water at all times. See Pri-race health check. 1. Final inspection. Conduct a final health check of each bird before basketing. Check for injuries. Look for any signs of injury or illness. Avoid basketing sick birds. Do not basket any birds that are sick or injured. Debasketing. 1. Calm environment. Basket the birds in a calm and quiet environment. 2. Proper handling. Handle the birds gently to avoid stress. 3. Adequate space. Ensure that the birds have adequate space in the basket. 4. Ventilation. Ensure that the baskets are well ventilated. 5. Water. Provide water in the baskets, especially for long races. 7. Race day considerations. A. Weather monitoring. 1. Check the weather forecast. Monitor the weather forecast for the race route. 2. Wind conditions. Pay attention to wind conditions, as they can significantly affect the bird's performance. 3. Temperature. Be aware of temperature extremes, which can stress the birds. 4. Release time. Understand how the weather may have impacted the release time of your birds. B. Loft preparation. 1. Clean loft. Ensure that the loft is clean and tidy. 2. Fresh water and feed. Provide fresh water and feed for the returning birds. 3. Quiet environment. Maintain a quiet and calm environment in the loft. C. Waiting for the birds. 1. Patience. Be patient and wait for the birds to return. 2. Observation. Observe the birds as they return. 3. Record arrival times. Record the arrival times of each bird. 8. Post-race recovery. A. Immediate care. 1. Water and electrolytes. Provide water and electrolytes immediately upon the bird's return to light feed. Offer a light, easily digestible feed. B. Monitoring. 1. Observe behavior. Observe the bird's behavior for signs of fatigue or injury. 2. Check for injuries. Check for any signs of injury or illness. C. Rest and recovery. 1. Rest period. Allow the birds to rest and recover for several days after the race. 2. Gradual return to training. Gradually return the birds to training. 3. Avoid overtraining. Avoid overtraining, especially after a tough race. 9. Record keeping. A. Training records. 1. Date and location. Record the date, location, and distance of each training toss. Weather conditions. Record the weather conditions during each training toss. 3. Bird performance. Record the performance of each bird during training. B. Race records. 1. Arrival times. Record the arrival times of each bird in each race. Race results. Record the official race results. 3. Pedigree information. Record the pedigree information of each bird. C. Health records. 1. Vaccination dates. Record the dates of all vaccinations. 2. Treatment dates. Record the dates of all treatments for illness or parasites. 3. Fecal exam results. Record the results of all fecal exams. X. Important considerations for young birds. A. Imprinting. Young birds imprint on their environment early in life. Create a positive and consistent environment to build their confidence and homing ability. B. Natural instincts. Remember that young birds are still developing their natural instincts. Be patient and provide them with the support they need to learn and grow. C. Stress management. Young birds are more susceptible to stress than older birds. Minimize stress by providing a calm and stable environment. D. Learning from mistakes. Young birds will make mistakes. Use these mistakes as learning opportunities to improve your training and management techniques. 11. Troubleshooting common problems. A. Birds not trapping. 1. Hunger. Ensure that the birds are hungry when they return from training. 2. Food rewards. Use food rewards to encourage trapping. 3. Loft design. Ensure that the trapping system is easy to use and that the birds are comfortable with it. 4. Predator presence. Check for signs of predators near the loft. B. Birds getting lost. 1. Insufficient training. Ensure that the birds have had sufficient training before racing. 2. Adverse weather. Avoid training in adverse weather conditions. 3. Health issues. Check for underlying health issues that may be impairing the bird's navigation ability. C. Birds not flying well. 1. Overweight. Ensure that the birds are not overweight. 2. Underweight. Ensure that the birds are getting enough food. 3. Health issues. Check for underlying health issues that may be affecting the bird's performance. By following these guidelines, you can give your young racing pigeons the best possible start to their racing careers. Remember that patience, consistency, and attention to detail are key to success. Good luck with your first race.
Well, we talked about the carburetor of the motor, but what about what goes in the tank? What do these middle and long distance flyers have to say about the way they are feeding their birds today?
The old distance thinking was all beans and peas, or beans, peas and tares, which were marketed as channel mixtures. Well, actually you were doing exactly opposite to what you need to be.
I think a lot of fanciers fail to think just how much effort a pigeon puts in when he's racing. If you look how many times a pigeon's wing beats in a minute, I think it's something like 600 times in a minute or something like that. You can imagine the amount of effort and energy needed to do that. You have to put the fuel in the way of food. That's your petrol, so to speak.
Then the most important is give light food. It's not necessary that you or me, that we go all days to the restaurant, because on 1 month we are sick. That's also by the pigeons. So light food.
If they could come back now and see how fast pigeons come from 400, 500 miles on these light mixtures, carbohydrate and fats, they'd be astounded.
But the food doesn't want to be too strong, too rich, not too much protein.
Even I can go back when 12 hours was nothing from Nance, and that was flying 360, 365 miles. There'd be 12 hours, the leading pigeons, and you'd get a few on the day. Now, I mean, they come as if they're coming from 50 miles, if it's anything like a day. It's just a total turnaround completely.
Right food, and that is the most important. Because with my food you cannot give too much. They stop when they come on the barley. Barley, that's good word. They stop then. And when they stop on with barley, then you said, I am away to tomorrow, I come tomorrow back.
There are many reasons to buy my racing pigeon method. Here are some of the best reasons. You will get excellent results. It's a very simple system to use. It's affordable. I have had over 400 first prize winners. It's adaptable to any situation. You can use it with any racing method, natural, widowhood, young birds. It's a very effective method. There is no need to spend a lot of money on fancy pigeon products. It's a reliable system and it is foolproof to use. Professional athletes, race horses, take the same products. There is science behind this, not just hearsay. It is all to do with red blood cells and oxygen in the blood. Without that, a pigeon will not race well, or an athlete will not win a race. If he has low oxygen in his blood, the above is fact and is 100% science. There are a few things you can do to improve your chances of winning at racing pigeons. One of the most important things is to learn as much as you can about the sport. You'll need to know the different types of pigeons, how to train them, and how to race them. Another key factor is practice. You'll need to be able to fly your pigeons competently in order to win races. And, of course, you'll need to have the funds to invest in racing pigeons and other racing equipment.